Good morning. Welcome to Wanda. In the previous session, you completed the task Introduction to Informatica and then mapping of warehouse server. Now you are going to know about the filter transformation. That means you have a different transformations are there. One is a filter transformation, router transformation, aggregate transformation, joiner transformation, and then rank. Not only those transformation, the transformation means changing the data from one form of data. That means process how transforming the data into one form to other form. Here in this particular transformation, how source data is transformed and then various functions can be applied during this process. That is called here transformation. Here in this transformation, the one of the transformation here is a filter transformation. What is exactly filter transformation? What is the main purpose of transformation here? In this case, the transformation used to modify the source data. That means it will modify the source data. How can you modify source data? Consists of some of the data, some information. You have to change the data. You have to modify the data as per the requirement of the target system. For example, display the list of employees whose salary greater than the 5,000, you whose salary greater than the 2,000, by designing the filter transformation. Here, the employee table consists of, yeah, salary consists of any number of salaries. That means some person having the 6,000 salary, some person having the 10,000 salary, but some person have the 2,000 salary, some person have the 1,000 salary. But I don't need all that salary. I need salary greater than 2,000. 2,000. That means 5,000 I am giving. That means greater than 2,000 enough. That means I need all salaries. I don't need all information. That is a requirement here. That means it modify the data as per the requirement of the target system. My target system salary greater than 2,000. By designing the filter transformation, the best thing here. And then how can you do this one? By using filter transformation. You have a different types of transformations are there. One is a active transformation, other one is a passive transformation. What is an active transformation? Here, modify the rows and input data. That means it will changes the input values as well as the number of rows also. Such type of data you call it as a active data. Our filter transformation is a active transformation. What about the passive transformation? The passive transformation, reverse process, not change the input and number of rows. That's called here passive transformation. I think you understand that one. Active transformation as well as the passive transformation. Filter is an active transformation. Why filter is an active transformation? Here it will modify the input data as well as the number of rows. That's why it is a active transformation. And then the filter transformation, how can you do that information? By taking the three steps. First, open the VMware. That means Informatica Power Center client. The developer always work on a client system, the administrator work on a server services. First thing here is a VMware. Open the VMware. After that, creating the folder. How can you creating the folder? By using repository manager. By using repository manager, you will creating the folder. After that, by using, click on next important thing, click on designer. How can you, by using designer, you will creating the source table as well as the target table, and then checking the target table also by executing and generating the target table into the Scott user. And then that is a very important step here. How can you generating into the Scott user? That means the generation is very important. After that, creating the mapping by using filter condition. The next important one is a very important thing. The step. What is the step here? Creating the mapping by using filter. How can you creating the mapping here? Click on transformation. There is a transformation button is there, and then click on create. After that, you will apply the filter. That means double click on the header. you will having some properties are there. The properties window, you will performing the salary greater than 2000. Validate this one and then save repository. Finally, creating the session, passing the instruction to the session, go to, that means creating the session, already you discussed it previously. And then finally, you will display the result by using SQL plus editor. Here, how can you do that one? Go to the Informatica Client Power Center tool. That means directly go to the Informatica Power Center tool. Next, go to the Informatica Power Center tool. How can you go to the Power Center tool? Okay, leave this one PPT. Leave this PPT. Next, go to the Informatica Power Center tool. In the Power Center tool, you have already discussed about the different services offered by the Informatica. These are all different services offered by the Informatica. One is a repository manager service, designer service, workflow service. These are all visible services. Invisible, that means workflow monitor services are there, displaying the executing some information, and then integration services are there. These are all different services. First, click on the repository manager service. Why I'm clicking on the repository manager service here? In order to creating the folder. That means in order to creating the metadata. For creating the metadata, click on repository manager. I click on the repository manager. Click on repository manager, then it will connect to the SCART user. How can you connect to the SCART user? That means you click on admin. That means these repositories provided by the administrator. That means these are all from the services, server services. You are going to creating the users as well as the administrator and the repositories. Here username is a Scott and then password is a tiger. Username Scott and then connect. Yeah, you connected that one. Next, creating the folder. Click on creating the folder button. Create. Then it will ask the create folder, folder name, description, and then owner is a Scott, and then group is an administrator, and then like that different options are available here. And then I'm giving the name program 2. Already previously completed the program 1. Now enter the program 2 and then okay. The folder has been created successfully. Yes, created the folder. That means you are going to maintaining the metadata. Next, that means no need to this is a program to. Next, that close this repository. No need repository, created the repository. Next, go to the designer. What is the information about the designer? It is used to creating the source data, target data, and then mapping. For that purposes, you are going to open in the designer. Click on designer. The second service is designer. Click on designer service. Then it will ask the welcome to the power center designer. Okay. Click on okay. And then go to admin. Click on admin. Then connect to the admin. How can you connect the admin? Click on admin. It will ask the username Scott and then password tiger and then connect. The password TIGER. Connect to the uh, designer. Yes, I connected designer. Open the program 2. That means previously in the repository you created a program 2. Open the program 2. Click on program 2. Yes, click on program 2. It directly goes to the source analyzer. In the source analyzer, you are going to the different source table. From that means you are retrieving the different source table from the various sources. Here, the source I am taking the Oracle is a one type of source. DB2 is another type of source. Different sources are there. From the different sources, I am collecting, I am retrieving, I am discovered and I am getting the source data. Here, how can you get the source data? Go to sources, and then import from the databases. Why? Because I am going to importing the information from the Oracle. In the Oracle from the SCART user. Click on data import from the database. Then previously in the first program we created the ODBC data source. That means the name of the ODBC data source is a Rama. That means same data source I am using now. The same data source. The same data source is a Rama. I'm using the same data source. Previously I created the data source, and then now the user is a Scott user. For the data source, Scott is a user, and then owner is a Scott, and then password here I am taking the Tiger, Tiger, and then click on connect. Click on connect, then it will show the select the folder, select the table. It will show the Scott user. The Scott user consists of a different table. Click on table, then you will identify the n number of table. Among those table, I am selecting the EMP table. EMP table, and then OK. Click on OK. Then it displays the EMP table. For the filter transformation, I am taking the EMP table. Here, what is an EMP table? EMP table consists of EMP number, EMP name, like that, different information. That means you got the EMP table. Then okay, you got the UMP table. Next, you are going to generating the target table. Why? Because the target source table consists of any number of salaries, but target table consists of salary greater than 2000 only. Salary greater than 2000. That means go to tools, warehouse designer. Click on warehouse designer, and then you are going to creating your own target table, or import from the target table, or drag and drop from the source table. You will use any one of the method. Yeah, I am going to drag and drop first. In the first program, you import, you created your own table. Next, I'm drag and drop the from the source table. How can you drag and drop EMP table? Here, if you drag and drop into the source table, source from the source table, drag and drop from the source table, here it will create the structure only, not a data. It's not having any data. It creates a, here in this case, you will creating the structure of a employee table. That's why I'm going to changing the name. How can you change the name here? For example, I'm going to changing the name by using rename. Click on rename, and then changing the name. How can you changing the name? P2 target, or target P2. Let us assume the table name target P2, and then click on OK. P2 target, click on OK, and then apply, and then OK. That means you created the target table. Here the target table only, you created the structure of the target table, not a, here in this case, not having the any data. It is an empty file. Here, for example, if you want to see the data, open the SQL plus editor. From the SQL plus editor, you will see that if the data having the Scott user consists of data or not. See here. Yeah, if you want to see, how can you open the SQL plus editor? Username Scott, and then password Tiger. Enough. Here, select star from target P2. Yeah, target. See here, the table or view does not exist. That means I did not connect to the target table. I did not connect to the now. I did not connect to the target table. The third step here, connect this information to the target table. Here, how can you connect target table to the Scott user? For connecting to the target table, the Scott user, go to target, generate or execute SQL, generate or execute SQL, and then here create table. I'm going to create in the table under the Scott user. I'm going to creating the table under the Scott user. Here, create table option. Create table option. Click on create table option. Remove the foreign key here. I am applying the only one constraint. What is the constraint I am using here? The primary key only. I'm not using any foreign key. What is the foreign key? Or what is the primary key? Primary key, by using primary key, unique and not null values are there for the primary key. Among the different fields, I am selecting the only one field. And then foreign key, what is the foreign key? Here, foreign key is a row. Foreign key is a field or a column which will references the other table for a primary key, which will references the other table primary key. I'm not using any other table, that's why I am taking the only primary key. Click on and then generate and execute. Click on generate and execute, then it will ask the ODBC data source and then username. ODBC data source is a Rama already created. Then you have to select the only that particular data source in the and then username Scott, password Tiger, and then connect. Yes, it will connect. That means already data is there. Click on OK. That means the file, the where you stored the this Informatica, there the file created on file. That means this table stored into the that file. That means it will maintain the file. And then close this one. Now see the data. Previously table does not exist. Now if you see the data, table existed but data not there in a target table. Yeah, go to the SQL plus. Here in this SQL plus, select star from a target P2. If you select the target P2, then the table existed but no row selected. That means table have there but the data, I did not get any data. Now I am going to transferring the data. How can you transfer them? By using mapping. Yes, here I'm going to transferring the data. How can you transferring the data? By using mapping. Here already previously discussed about the mapping. Mapping used to link the source table into target table. Linking, that's why go to tools, click on mapping, designer. Then it will show the mapping designer. And then now I'm going to creating the mapping. How can you creating the mapping? Click on mapping, create. Then the name convention is there here. What is the name convention? That's the unique name. You have to give the unique name. P2 underscore mapping or map underscore P2. You may take any value. Here P2 underscore map. That means I have provided a name to the mapping, and then drag and drop the employee table, source table as well as the target table into the mapping. That means what is a why mapping is a used to linking the source data into target data, the source object into the target object, linking process, transferring the data from the source table to target table. That is called here mapping. Here creating this mapping. Here drag and drop the source data. Next, the source data consists of different fields, and then drag and drop the target data. The target data consists of different fields but data not there here. Only it creates a structure, the structure of employee table, the structure of employee table that not have the data but source having the data. There is a source qualifier. Already previously we discussed the source qualifier. By using source qualifier, you will pass the data from the source to target. Here what that means, next I'm going to apply in the filter transformation. What is a filter transformation? I'm going to apply and click on transformation. In between a source and target, you will take the filter transformation. Click on transformation, create. Here drop down box is there. From the drop down box, you will selecting the filter transformation. Click on here filter transformation. Click on filter transformation. Give a name to the filter transformation. You may give any unique name, filter underscore P2, filter underscore P2, and then create. Here what is an exactly filter transformation? Here what is an exactly filter transformation? This particular filter transformation is a active transformation. The active transformation means it modifies the rows and then number of input values. The filter transformation is an active transformation. Why? Because it is an active transformation. It will modifies the number of rows and then the number of input values as well as the rows. That means it changes the number of records. Here, by using this filter transformation, you can filter the record based on a filter condition. Here, it will provide say some condition. Based on the condition, you will filter the data. Here, how can you filter the data? Here, first pass the source qualifier to filter. First, the all information from the source qualifier to filter. That means I got the employee number, employee name, and then all information source qualifier to filter. Now I am going to apply in some condition, just like a filter in the sense. For example, there is a oil is there. After filtering the oil, you will get the pure oil. That is called here filtering technique. Here similarly I'm going to the filtering. That means employee salary is there, employee salary, but I need to get the employee salary greater than only 2000. Here pass the data and then click on edit this one, double click. If you two ways are there, double click on filter transformation or right click and edit. Double click on filter transformation or right click and edit, then you will modify the some data. See here, if you edit the edit transformation, here you have a transformation is there, here you have a port is there, here properties are there. That means go to properties, different port in the sense columns. Go to properties. Under the properties there is a filter condition. Here the filter condition is a true. True means you are selecting the all rows for the this particular field. None, I don't need all rows. I am selecting the specific row. That's why I am going to changing the condition. How can you change the condition? Here, see here, there is a trace level is there. Browse. I am taking now normal. Click on here. The condition, I'm going to change the condition. Here you have a different functions are there, port are there, and then variables are there. I'm removing the true. I'm going to applying the some condition. What is the condition? Salary greater than the, go to port and then click on salary greater than 2000. Use greater than symbol here. 2000, 2000, 2000, and then validate this expression. Validate the expression, valid passed successfully. Validate this one and then okay. That means here the filter condition is the salary greater than 2000. That means I need to get the all record whose salary greater than 2000 and then apply and then okay. Apply and then okay. That means you passed the condition for this one. Yes. Next, the data, that means from the filter, you will transform the data from the source to target. Here select all, source to target. That means I am passing the data from the source to target. Yes. Validate the mapping. Now validate the mapping. Yes. I'm going to validate the mapping. How can you validate the mapping? Mapping, validate, and then the next important one, uh, repository, and then save this one. Here validate and then now mapping created. That means you created the mapping based on a filter condition. Based on a filter condition, you create the mapping. Yes, you completed the mapping. Next, execute this mapping. How can you execute this mapping? Here, the for executing this mapping, go to workflow manager. Go to work, click on workflow manager. Yes, okay. And then click on admin. The username is a Scott, and then provide the password tiger and then connect it. Password tiger, then go to the program 2. That means the filter condition is a program 2. Go to the program 2. Here you will identify the task developer and then workflow designer. Two important things you require: task developer and workflow designer. Go to tools, go to tools, and then task developer first. This is a task developer window, and then go to task, create task. Here the tasks are three different tasks are there. One is a session is a one task, command is another task, email tasks, different tasks available. You may create the different commands, but for executing any mapping, you require a session. You require a particular session. The name of the session, you may give the name of the session here. That means name of the session you may give session underscore p2 or task underscore p2. Create that one. That means please select. That means I'm having the only one mapping for this session. That means you may create the n number of mapping for this session. That means I am selecting the only one mapping I created. That means I am selecting that mapping, and then okay, and then done. This one, okay, done. Yes, you created a session. This is a session related information. And then you have to connecting the source object, source data, and then target data. You have to creating the different objects. How can you creating the objects here? Go to connection, click on relational, click on relational, and then you are going to creating the objects. How can you creating the object? Click on new, click on new, and then okay, Oracle, okay. Here you will give the name. For example, p2a is a one object for the source, and then username is a Scott, and then password here is a tiger. Password is, and then host string is a Oracle. Oh, and then okay. And then next you are going to creating the new object for the target table, p2b. Let us assume target table, and then username Scott, password tiger, tiger, and then Oracle, Oracle, and then okay. That means you created a two different object. Now you have to link this object to the session. Okay, close this one, close this one. Yeah, you have to link the, click on session, double click on session. Before that you have to, before connecting that one, you have to that one. But I'm going to workflow, I'm going to creating the workflow here. The workflow name here in this case work underscore p2, and then click on okay. Before link to the workflow to session, you have to connect the object to the target and source. Before drag and drop, yes, go to that one, go to task developer. Here you have to connect the object. Go to mapping, and then source, click on source. Then under the connection, under the connection, click on this tab. There is a p2a for the source. P2a, no, no, anyone you will use, p2b or p2c, and then apply. Okay. Next for the target, click on this one, mapping, and then click on target. Then under the relational, click on this one. Then p2b, click on p2b, click on p2b. Okay, that means selecting that one. Very important one is a target load type. That means I applied the primary key condition, primary key constraint. That's why the target load type is a normal, not a bulk. Selecting the normal, apply. Okay, that means target created. And then next important thing here is a link the, go to workflow designer. There is a already created workflow. Drag and drop the session into workflow designer. Drag and drop the session, drag this session into workflow designer. And then you have to link the workflow with the session. Workflow with the session, how can you link the session here? Go to task, link task, go to task, link task, link the this one to this one. Yes, link this one. Next, very important one, validate this workflow. Yes, it is a valid workflow. It shows the some message, and then save. Go to repository and then save this one workflow. Next, you have to execute this one. Start workflow, click on start workflow. Yes, it is starting the workflow. Yes, the two information succeeded. Uh, in the, that means the Informatica Power Center workflow monitor. That means this monitor shows the execution flow. Here click on this one, this link, click on this link, you will see the result. Here what is the result here? See the result here. The source, the target here is a 6 rows, and then source having the 14 rows. the that means what is the target having the number of salary, different salaries are there. Among those, I required only salary greater than 2000. Only 6 rows are there. That shows the 6 rows related information. Yes, here if you want to see the result, you may see the result from the different ways. From the target table, from the, that means go to mapping. Under the mapping, from the target table, preview the data. It preview the data, then it will ask the very important one, source. Data source is a very important. Click on data source. The Rama already created data source previously, selected data source, use the data source Rama, and then username Scott, and then password tiger, and then connect. Then it will shows the how many rows are there. 6 rows are there. Whose salary, verify the salary here. All salary greater than 2000 only. All salary from the employee 2000, greater than 2000, displays the greater than 2000. Then means verify this one, very important thing, verify this one. All salary greater than 2000, not a less than 2000 value here. Here, if you want to see the result by using SQL plus, here if you will see the target result from by using SQL plus. Here, open the SQL plus window. How can you open the SQL plus window? Click here, SQL plus window. See here, previously the first time select star from target P2, the table does not exist. After that, you execute and generate the execute table, then it will execute the table, generate this one. That means no row selected. Second time. Yeah, now third time, you will see the result. Select a star from target P2. That means this is a one type of transformation form into the target required data format, that is called here target. This is a target table. The target table that is in not in proper order. Set the line size. If, for example, I'm going to setting the line size to 100 points. From the 100 points here, you will setting the line size. It's out of the border. That's why I'm setting the line size. Then you will see the result here. The result of the target P2 table. Select star from target P2 table. This is a target P2 table. I want to verify in the select star from employee tables. Select star from employee. See the result here. Here, in particular result, you got a employee salary always greater than 2000 value. Employee salary greater than 2000 value. It is a employee salary. That means some of the salary having the 800, 900, like that. Some salary is there. Employee salary greater than 2000. This is called here filter transformation. The filter transformation is an active transformation. Here, the active transformation in the sense it changes the number of records. It changes the, for example, this records having the 14 records are there employee table. The changing the number of records to 6 records changes the number of records. That's why it is called here active transformation. That means you can filter the number of records based on a filter condition. This is a active transformation. This is a simple information regarding the this one. Okay, thank you.